Here we've got 3 different Woodman kits for kids and my special helper. These are 3 different Woodman kits for kids, and what's cool about these kits is that everything's included that you need to put them together. All the tools and even the paints and everything. We've got here a train and an airplane and a sailboat. And which one do you think we should put together? This one, you want to put together the train? Alright, so we're going to put together the train and see how it goes. Stay tuned for the end of the video where I'm going to have some tips about putting this together and some information about the final toy. So let's open this up and check it out. You ready? Alright. Okay, so we've got it open. We've got the instructions, a lot of wooden parts here, 4 different colors of paint. We've got a hammer. What's that?
A hammer.
Hammer. How many brushes?
1, 2.
2 brushes and some glue. So let's go ahead and open the instructions and let's see where to start. And some sandpaper.
Why there's some sandpaper?
Well, I'm sure it's to smooth out the parts after we put it together. So first we're going to need to sand some of the parts from page 1. Got the parts there. We'll take our sandpaper, we'll sand some of those parts, and then it looks like we're going to get into some painting right away before putting it together. We got a couple different kinds of paint to get on some of the parts before the assembly. So you ready to use the sandpaper first? All right, you grab the sandpaper. All right, I'll grab the parts.
Can you sand them?
Yep, we're going to sand them. Okay, did you get all those parts sanded? All right, it's time to move on to the painting. So we'll get out the red paint, looks like red paint first, and then green paint, and we'll get the parts out and we'll get going. Okay, open the red paint.
You start it.
Okay.
You did. You start it. Like that? I'll do it.
Okay.
You have to do that?
Yep. Okay.
I have to paint all parts.
Yep, you gotta paint. Don't touch the paint.
Why?
Well, you don't want to get paint on your fingers.
I need to paint everything.
You gotta paint all the parts.
I need more for an edge.
Okay.
You can't touch me, but you have paint.
No, I know, I'm not touching you.
Then now I have to do side. And do this one first. And then we need more paint. This is tricky.
That's a tricky one.
Oh, this job is tricky. Now I have to do our part with different colors. I think it's a big train.
You think it's a big train?
So it goes outside.
Oh, it's an outside toy?
I think it's the inside. We do it your part.
Okay. All right, last part, bud.
Okay, I'll do the last part.
All right, so move on to the other colors.
Green.
Okay. Okay, I've enlisted a second helper to help us finish up, and we've got all the colors now painted. What colors do we have here that we did?
Red, and I got red.
Yep.
And green and yellow.
And green and yellow. All right, so now it is time to start putting the train together with the glue.
What's the glue? Where's the glue? It's over here.
All right, just like this, bud. So take the glue. You don't need the brush yet. Just put a little glue right here. Right down in the crack, right there and there. Yep.
It's kind of difficult.
Is it? Okay, I'll help you a little bit.
But I did that one, I
Yep.
can't do that one.
Okay. Squeeze it out. We gotta put it right on this edge. Squeeze. Okay, look. See, we got this one, bud. Look, here's the start of the train.
Let me do it.
Okay. Good job.
I banged it.
Okay, bang this one in, bud.
I'm gonna do this. I did it. I banged it.
Okay.
Where your fingers? I don't want to bang the fingers.
Ro, can you put this one on for me? Stick it down.
Okay.
Okay. Push, push.
Okay.
Okay. Put some glue on top here.
Yeah. We are putting these together.
So there it is, the completed train. Got the last pieces all glued up and put together. What do you guys think? Is that a pretty cool train?
I'm making another one.
Let's make another one?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think, Liam? Is this a pretty cool train?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun putting this together, right guys? Took us a couple of hours to probably do all the process. The paint takes a little bit of time to dry. The glue takes a little bit of time to dry. Obviously my kids are on the younger age for doing a project like this, but we took a few hours together and put this together and had just a ton of fun doing it.
Make another one.
And we can make another one. And it's not just obviously spending time with the kids, which is great, but it's also teaching them some skills. We had some gluing, some painting, following instructions, and ending up with a pretty cool toy to play with at the end. Well, now that I've got the train all put together, let me share a couple of tips with you that I learned in the process. The first is the directions. They're pretty decent, but they're not that detailed. But between this and the picture on the front of the box, and of course all the included parts, it's pretty easy to make out where things go. So that's not too tricky. The next is the paints. The paints are a little bit, at least the ones I got, are a little bit dry. But what you can do is just add a few drops of water to the paint, stir it up with a toothpick or another stirring stick, and bring these paints back to life, and that'll make them go on a lot smoother. Next is the glue. The glue that I got was a little bit dried out. So instead of using this glue, pick up just any old household glue, Elmer's glue, Tight Bond. You can even use a CA glue to make things go together pretty quickly, but that could be a little tricky for kids. But if you're doing it just yourself or you've got some older kids, CA glue would be a great thing to keep stuff moving forward pretty quickly because it dries so fast. So I would recommend replacing the included glue with some glue from your own shop. And finally, the assembly process. The parts go together really easily, but they're all just butt joints, so they can slide around. And so it's a little bit tricky to get things, lined up and stay in place while the glue tacks up and dries. So just be aware of that as you're putting it together. And finally, the overall toy is just sort of average to me. It is an all wood toy, which is great, and it also definitely depends on how much time and energy you spend putting it together. You could end up with one that looks quite a bit better than mine here. But the price point is definitely great, easy to get into the house, and the real value to me is spending the time with the kids, not only putting together a project together, but also teaching them some skills, using some tools, putting together a project from start to finish is just invaluable.
More parts on it.
More parts? That's all the parts, big guy.